Go again. Okay, here's our next update on the bugs, number 12 or something, I think. Yeah. Okay, what I've done here is I've just gone over it with some very heavy coats of 2-pack primer, and yeah, have all the areas that have putty in them. There was quite a bit in the roof actually, which is very disappointing because it had surface rust on it, and other places I scrubbed the whole body back to metal. Yeah, I had to re-putty what someone else had already repaired. And, yeah. So what I'll be doing next, I'll get the fire going tonight, and I'll bake this overnight. And tomorrow, normally you would rub putty with on a fill coat like this, you'd do it with a 180, but doing it dry, rubbing 2-pack dry is just as dangerous as breathing in them wet. And I don't particularly want to wear a mask the whole time I'm doing it, so I'll wet rub it. So instead of 180, because wet is sort of seems to be more coarse than the dry, or it cuts quicker, so I'll go with some wet 240. And there's a couple of places I can already see there's still, I may have to actually do another heavy coat of it, 2-pack again tomorrow. What I will do first, I'll guide coat it with, very lightly with some black enamel, which will show me highs and lows and where I need to rub. And you can see Big Daggy runs here, and you'll be thinking, oh, how bodge. And you'd be right. This is pinholes. And I try various things, but I always seem to get pinholes in the putty. I probably should actually learn how to mix putty properly, that'd help. But anyway, yeah, that's what all these runs are for, because I've been blowing paint into the pinholes and putting it right up close and putting the pressure on it to make sure it fills the pinholes. And yeah, this is something don't ever try and do with an acrylic primer. It won't work. You cannot fill with acrylic primer. If you do this with an acrylic primer, as soon as you go to put the top coat on, the thinners will soften it and it'll reform the shape underneath it. So, but yeah, a 2-pack, you don't get stink back with a 2-pack. So, yeah. If you are going to use an acrylic primer, you basically have to get it perfect before you put the acrylic primer on it. Acrylic primer will fill 180 or dry 180 scratches, whereas this 2-pack primer, I've gone straight over the 80. I've rubbed the putty with 80 grade in the middle and just gone straight over it. 2-pack primer doesn't have any problem covering the 180 or covering the 80 grade scratches. However, having said that, and you probably can't see this here. Oh, yeah. I can still see the 80 grade scratches quite deeply. So whether or not I'm able to rub them 80 grade scratches out, I don't know. We'll wait and see tomorrow. I did put it on very heavy, as you can see. There runs everywhere. And again, there was lots of little pinholes that I was trying to fill up. If you were going to primer with acrylic primer, don't use spot putty or any single pack putty. You would then go over your putty with a finer putty, yeah, a thinner, finer putty that takes a hardener. But that stuff's quite expensive. So as I said, I find that the 2-pack primer does just as well. Probably even easier because you can cover a bigger area easily. Yeah. Anyway, that's where we're up to. I'll do another update tomorrow when I get this guide coated. I'll rub part of it back and partially rub some of it so that you can see how the guide coat shows up highs and lows. And, yeah, hopefully by Monday I'll be able to put the a nice even thin layer of primer over it without runs. As I said, I'll be rubbing this with a wet 240. If I was, if this was as the final coat of primer and I put runs in it like that, I'd create myself a huge problem. I'd end up creating highs and lows trying to rub out the runs with a like a 400 or a 600. So yeah, but as I said, these will rub out easy with the 240. Won't be an issue. Going to use a large half sheet pad to do it. But yeah, as I said, I'll do an update again tomorrow and hopefully one on Monday, and I'll show you the final coat of primer, and I'll leave the final coat, I'll bake it and then I'll put it out in the sun each day, leave that for a full week, make sure it's fully hardened before I do a final rub and paint it. Yeah, and there's got plenty of time actually to let the final coat of primer harden, because it'll be 2 weeks now before I can afford to buy the acrylic top coat. So, yeah, so there we go. Bye.